Hey there. In this video I want to do an update of my experiment of quitting caffeine. I made a video around a month ago where I explained the reasons why I decided to quit caffeine, and of course I'm not you don't have to check it out. In a summary, the reasons I'm quitting is because I don't want to be dependent on any substance. In particular, caffeine is one of the few substances that I used to rely on a almost day-to-day basis, and I want to experiment quitting coffee and see how it works and if the benefits the people claim are true or not. So in this video I want to more or less review the experience and talk about benefits and drawbacks. And long story short, after 3 weeks I had to quit the experiment, so I'm going to explain why I had to stop the experiment, and after that also I'm going to explain what's my strategy in the future, because I still want to quit caffeine. Still, I don't want to be dependent on any substance, even though I love coffee. I really like it, but I don't want to be reliant on it. And this experiment really showed me how reliant on coffee and caffeine I am. So yeah, that was pretty tough, to be honest. So how was the experiment? So around 1 month ago, I decided to quit coffee for good. I was drinking around 1 cup a day, but a big cup, French press cup, and so I decided, let's quit it for good. Also, because the day I start quitting coffee was a little bit spontaneous, so I decided to leave the coffee for after the meditation, and because I do meditation every day, and the meditation was great without coffee, so I decided, maybe let's try it. So I started the experiment quite spontaneously, really. I mean, I've been trying to reduce my consumption during the last month, but yeah, so this last step was pretty spontaneous. So I decided to quit it, and the first 3 days I felt the typical withdrawal symptoms, like headaches. It wasn't that bad, but still in the afternoon I had headaches and feeling tired, fatigue. That's typical stuff. And yeah, so it was okay, nothing terrible, to be honest. But yeah, it lasted about around 3 days, and the main benefit experience from quitting coffee is that I was so peaceful, so calm, so relaxed. Either both my body felt very relaxed and my mind very quiet, very peaceful, and I really find this beautiful. I really like it. I think that a lot of people struggle with overthinking and nonsense like that. I mean, of course there are many reasons, social media and distraction, stuff like that, but I think coffee can be a factor, because it makes you more stressed, more anxious, and for me at least, I didn't feel as wasn't giving me energy, because really coffee doesn't give you energy, it gives you stress. So that's why I was okay, maybe I don't need that. That was my idea, no? So that was great. This feeling of peace, of calmness, I really enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to coming back to it. I mean, it's not that I feel stressed really, but this was another level. It was like a sort of zen level of quietness. Meditation also was great, very easy, because your mind is more quiet, more relaxed. I do meditation before having any sort of caffeine. I think it's a good idea. I was a little bit of a fool having coffee before meditation in the past, because it's like meditation, somehow you have to relax and you're given a stressor, so it doesn't make too much sense. So that was the main benefit, and essentially the only one. My sleep didn't improve, and at the end of the experiment it started to even get worse. I was waking up pretty often during the night, so it didn't improve at all. But I mean, overall, my sleep is quite okay, I would say, and I very um, consistent with when I go to bed, when I wake up. So, and I don't have trouble falling asleep. So, but at the end of the 3 weeks, I wasn't really sleeping well. Um, and the main drawback and the reason I decided to quit the experiment wasn't the tiredness. I mean, I wasn't feeling particularly tired, but I was very unmotivated. I lost my drive for living, really, and that scared me a little bit. Because yeah, I mean, I realized how dependent on caffeine I am. Uh, so yeah, that was pretty bad. I didn't want to do anything, and also since I was in this very calm, I mean, I just want to meditate and do nothing all day. But yeah, somehow we need to do stuff, and yeah, to to make a living and stuff like that. So I couldn't afford to not do nothing, and I didn't know how long would it take for my mind to start producing dopamine, I don't know, whatever, naturally. So and I also started, I think I don't know if it was a good idea, but I was reading the decaf subreddit, and there are a lot of people that have been struggling for months or even a year. They don't feel motivation, they cannot function properly, and uh, I cannot really, at this point in time, I cannot just afford that, to be honest. And this was like, okay, I cannot continue this, so I need to change my strategy. As I mentioned, still I want to quit my dependence on it eventually, so this is still in place, but I need to change my strategy. That was my decision after trying this for 3 weeks. Of course, some people may say that this is not long enough, but I don't know how long it would take me to recover, and yeah, maybe I could cut better in 1 week or 2 weeks, but maybe could have to wait months. And as I mentioned, my goal is still there. It's just that I need to change the strategy. So I think that in a sense the timing wasn't right, because I did it. I mean, I live in Germany, and now I'm not in Germany, of course. It's pretty warm here. I'm at home, but in Germany it's start to get very dark, very gloomy, and there are less than 8 hours of sunlight every day. And this winter I felt it more than other years. I think in part of because I was quitting coffee, and that somehow gives you a little bit more of motivation. And now without this, I really was very depressed, and yeah, very unmotivated. And I'm a pretty motivated person. I'm very driven, and feeling like that was very humbling in a sense, but also was a little bit exasperating, because of course one could try to motivate oneself, but somehow if your mind is not working properly, because when you quit this substance your mind stops working properly somehow. So you can motivate yourself all what you want, but things are not working properly here. So this was very scary in a sense, because yeah, it showed me how dependent on caffeine I am. And I think a lot of people would never think they are that dependent, because they never try to quit for a long period of time. Of course, I mean, anyone can quit for a weekend or for a couple of days here and there, but or 1 week maybe, but I think few people would tolerate to do it long term, because yeah, especially if you're not enjoying your life, it's even worse there. Anyway, so that was my main reason why I decided to change my strategy, because I couldn't afford to feel without motivation for a long period of time, that I didn't know how long would last. And so after 3 weeks, I have a espresso or double espresso, I don't remember, and after 15-20 minutes all problems were solved. So really that was the reason. I felt perfectly again, and my sleep during this night was perfect, was great. So yeah, that showed me that I need the drugs essentially. And so what I start doing after the first cup of coffee is to, I start having like a small dose of espresso in the morning, and that's it. I reduce my consumption significantly from my big cup of French press during the morning to espresso, to keep it as minimum. And so I already reduce my caffeine consumption significantly. And what I start doing, since I'm here in Chile with nice weather, with sun, I start to drinking also espresso, double espresso, something like that, every second day, to reduce it even more. I don't know if I will be able to keep this rhythm once I'm back in Germany, because again this weather is not very good. I feel the pain. So I will have to see if I can continue doing this day in day out. Hopefully I can, but we'll see. I mean, otherwise I can wait until starts getting better weather, more sun. We'll have to see really. I don't want to rush the process, but I want to reduce slowly over time my consumption until I can, I don't know, have it once a week or so, and I don't need it anymore. That's my main goal, that I can live without having to have a cup of coffee in the morning to feel good. So that's my plan. So in a sense, in a nutshell, that's my strategy into the future. I realized, I mean, this cold turkey didn't work for me, even though cold turkey had worked for me in many different stuff in the past. But yeah, every substance or habit you want to quit works differently. And also I want to record this video because I think it's important to keep myself accountable and being open, being honest. I mean, you can see there are a lot of videos about self-improvement guys talking how great is quitting caffeine, that I feel with so much energy and everything is great. I mean, for me it didn't work like that at all. And I mean, there are people that also share this feeling that they feel like shit after even prolonged period of time. So I think that's also to give a different vision or different outcome, that not everyone reacts differently. And I don't know why some people react better than others. I have no, maybe there are genetic factors, maybe there may be many reasons. I think it's a pretty complex phenomena. So I don't have an answer for that. But in any case, I want to share with you that sometimes things don't work the way you plan to. I think this applies to everything really, life, whatever project you're trying to do. Sometimes things don't work the way you expected, but it's important to change your strategy and not quit. I mean, that's the key. Unless you find something better or something else. But if you want to remove an addiction, to quit some bad habits, as maybe the strategy you are trying to do is not the best, but there may be a different strategy. And for me, the strategy of gradually reducing my consumption of caffeine, particularly coffee, will be, I will need to change my strategy to a more gradual reduction. And I think that will work better for me, because the effects will be won't be a very drastic change, and will make the process of adaptation a little bit easier for my mind to handle, because I mean our bodies, and not only our bodies but anything really, there is this concept called homeostasis, now that things try to keep an equilibrium, whatever you're, or sort of inertia, whatever you're doing, um, the system tries to keep in the same way it's been working. So if your system is used to have a substance and you quit the substance, all of a sudden the system won't know what to do, will need time to adapt. And that's what is discovered by quitting coffee, that my brain really wasn't producing, I don't know, dopamine or the chemicals needed to give motivation. Was being suppressed by caffeine. So yeah, it didn't need to produce it. So if you quit it all of a sudden, I mean, the brain want to start producing dopamine right away. It will take weeks or months maybe. So that's what at least happened to me. And of course every substance will be different, because as I mentioned, I mean, I quit cold turkey a lot of stuff in the past and worked well for me, but this was very different, also because I use my mind a lot, and if my mind is not working, it's quite difficult to function. So I think it will be different from person to person, and there is no strategy that works for everyone. So that's one of the keys, takeaways for this video. Also some also lessons that I learned. This humbles me a little bit, because yeah, I mean, usually again, I don't have problems with habits, but this was quite different, because I think that no amount of willpower would help, because there are biological aspects that make this process quite difficult and quite different. So that humbles me a little bit, and also makes me more compassionate for people that maybe struggle with different addictions or different bad habits. I don't know, like for example, I used to, maybe still to a point, I quite harsh with people, I don't know, that cannot lose weight. They always say I cannot lose weight, and for me it was quite easy. Maybe I will do a video in the future about that, but for me it was quite effortless. But yeah, for some people really it's very difficult, and there may be many reasons, environmental reasons or biological, genetic reasons, whatever. The thing is that yeah, for some people it works better than others, and yeah, I'm not I have no authority to judge or to criticize people because they're having more trouble with that, but this applies to any sort of substance. I mean, personally I didn't have any trouble with alcohol, never smoked, so I don't have experience with those sort of substances, but I can sort of relate to people that have trouble with those substances or other sort of addictions and bad habits. So that makes me, in a sense, more compassionate, and I think it's a good thing overall to be less judgmental on others. That because after all, we are all in the same path here. We're all trying to improve ourselves. We're all trying to, hopefully, live a better life, to self-actualize somehow, or at least to try to be a happy life. And yeah, the thing is that sometimes some people don't have the right strategies. I mean, depending on where you are in life, you may have access to different set of strategies, and even though there is the internet right now, but still a lot of changes, you need a certain mindset to be able to change certain things, and it's not that easy as it may be. As I mentioned, the information is there, but if you are not willing to connect, or you cannot connect the dots because you're not at the right stage, then good luck trying to. So that's why maybe this content may resonate to some people, not to other people, and that's perfectly fine, because all of us are in different stage of life. So I think it's important to be very aware, very conscious of this. So anyways, so that was the experience. And in the future, as I mentioned, I will do a more gradual, I'm doing a gradual approach of doing it slower over time. And yeah, hopefully in a couple of months I can quit completely, and I will hopefully make a new update, but maybe it will take a couple of months to really um, quit this substance from my system for good and let my mind produce whatever it has to produce naturally. So, but also there is no rush, it's fine. I still love coffee, so I will take it easy, and but be very be aware, not just drink it because I have to or because I want to, just when I need it. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, if you like the video, you can leave a like, subscribe, whatever, and check out the newsletter or the Medium, whatever. I have the text version of all my stuff. And yeah, there is a lot of I'm very excited. There are a lot of things I want to talk about in the future, and relate to personal growth, about psychology, and how to rewire your mind, and about how to. I made already a lot of videos about how to, um, change yourself from the interior, because really that's what really matters. Self-actualization is not about uh, external stuff. It's an inner work that you have to do. And if you have the inner stuff in place, the other stuff will figure out by itself. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. So if you want to follow this journey, just subscribe, and I see you in the next video. That's all for today.